All right, a good evening to you wherever you are joining us on the second day of the year 2026. My name is Emanuel Kutosi, and of course I'm really emphatic about the adventurous journey down 2026 as we edge into the second day. And of course, a lot has been happening within the country and also beyond our borders, including matters that we will be digging into in a moment. But first, let's take the official highlights of tonight's top stories. Panic in Nairobi's South Sea area as a building collapses. Rescue is underway. Outrage in Kisauni after a teen was shot dead during the New Year celebrations.
Mtoto wangu amefanya nini? Mwanangu ameuliwa na nani? Ampigwa risasi. Imekuwaje? Na hata mwanangu si mwizi, havuti, hachongi. Mtoto wangu si mchokozi.
Laikipia farmers count losses after elephant invasion in their farms.
Conflict ya ndovu wa wanyama na watu, naomba tuangaliliwe.
And behind the scenes, Kenyatta University television journalist caught off script.
Nikiwa hapa na wenyeji wa Nairobi, Brian Odhiambo, na pata
Gavana wa Kakamega Fernandes Barasa pamoja na mbunge
katika hafla ya kukabidhi tuzo ya sanaa. Swali kuli kilenga uchaguzi wa 2027. Where man?
Okay, and I'm in the company of Mutava Mwongeli in the sign language interpretation. And of course, you can be able to engage with us through our social media platforms at KUTV_Kenya on the X platform, KUTV Kenya on Facebook, and tell a friend to tell a friend. KUTV is live on KUTV News Kenya on YouTube. Now, panic gripped Nairobi South Sea shopping center this morning after a multi-story building under construction collapsed, leaving at least 2 people feared trapped in the rubble. The National Disaster Management Unit says it received an alert at around 8 a.m. and swiftly deployed the police and emergency response teams. Rescue operations have been going on through the day with the Kenya Red Cross and Nairobi City County officials and the National Police Service securing the area as teams carefully comb through the debris. Authorities are also assessing the safety of nearby buildings and have urged residents to keep away as rescue efforts continue. Now, grief and anger have engulfed Utange village in Kisauni sub-county, Mombasa County, after a 14-year-old boy was shot dead during the New Year celebrations. Residents and human rights activists are accusing police officers of using excessive and unjustified force, calling for swift, independent investigations and the arrest of those responsible.
A family in Utange, Kisauni sub-county, Mombasa County is demanding justice following the fatal shooting of a 14-year-old boy allegedly by a police officer during New Year celebration. The child's father, Michael Ocharo, recalled that police officers arrived on a motorcycle shortly after midnight and opened fire, killing his son. He appealed to the government to intervene, investigate the incident, and ensure justice is served for the family.
Alikuwa amevaa sare, mmoja alikuwa amevaa raia. Sasa katika huyu ambaye alikuwa amevaa raia, yeye ndo alikuwa yuko na pikipiki. Huyu mwingine ndo alikuwa amevaa hiyo sare ya polisi, yeye ndo amempiga risasi akaanguka. Kadri lile linavyoenda, wakabidi wakageuza gari pikipiki wakaenda na saidi nyingine. Kwa hivyo naomba serikali ichukulie kati, ikae na ukakamavu. Mimi naomba tena serikali ifanye juhudi chini kabla Jumatatu.
Nancy Kwekwe, the mother of the deceased, was devastated by her son's death during New Year celebrations, emphasizing he was innocent and well behaved.
Amefanya nini mtoto wangu? Amefanya nini mwanangu? Ameuliwa na nani? Ampigwa risasi. Imekuwaje? Na hata mwanangu si mwizi, havuti, hachongi. Mtoto wangu si mchokozi, mtoto wangu ni mtulivu. Mtoto mdogo huyu wa class 6. Kwa nini anadulumika hivi? Anapigwa risasi tu. Afadhali angempiga hata ya mguu. Ningemuguza hiyo mguu nikajua mtoto wangu yuko hai.
Inaniuma sana kwa kweli, inaniuma sana, ambao si sawa kabisa, sio sawa. Sisi tulikuwa tumejua kwamba Christmas inapiniwa tutasherekea. Kumbe kwa tutakuja omboleza. Ama tutaanza kulia hapa, tuanza kuninio kweli. Inatuuma sana. Inatuuma sana.
Human rights activists in Mombasa have condemned the killing as an extrajudicial act and calling for immediate investigations.
Kwa hivyo kwetu ni kusema kwamba tunataka kuona haraka iwezekanavyo haki iweze kutendeka. Wale maafisa ambao walihusika kwa hili tendo wanajulikana, washikwe mara moja, wawekwe korokoroni. Hatutakubali hatua nyingine yoyote ikiwa sio hao polisi kushikwa na kuwekwa korokoroni. Kwa hivyo tunataka kuhakikisha kwamba IPOA, who have the responsibility of following up on police excesses, they do their job and they make sure that justice is done for Dennis.
The tragic death of 15-year-old Dennis Ringa has left Utangi residents grieving, as calls grow for authorities to act swiftly and prevent further unlawful use of force by police. Edna Nerea, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, a family in Gitaru, Gitwamba, Mlango Soko is counting losses after a fire allegedly started by their child who ignited fireworks during the New Year frenzy destroyed their home. Locals were the first to respond, rushing to the scene and attempting to put out the flames before firefighters from Limuru arrived, help preventing the fire from spreading to neighboring houses. Now, the affected mother says the fireworks left on a table were accessed by the child and taken into the bedroom. By the time the fire was contained, the house belonging to a resident identified as Njoroge had been reduced to ashes. Residents are now calling for stricter controls on fireworks, especially those accessible to children.
In fact, the whole of last year.
Kama tumechelewa, kibiriti ilikuwa hapo kwa meza. Sasa akahakisha hiyo yenye kulikuwa na kadogo Kenya alikuwa nako, kumbe alihakishia huko bedroom. Sasa mimi nikasikia kitu ikifanya tu dakika kidogo, tena nikasikia ingine harufu ya moshi. Sasa nikaanza kusikia kitu inachomeka, nikaingia jikoni kwanza, nikapata jikoni kukukilia. Sasa vile niliingia bedroom ndo nikapata mattress imeshika moto.
Fireworks should be removed from the shelves so that we avoid children continuing buying them and maybe trying to do whatever they didn't do as far as they didn't buy those fireworks. They can go maybe start experimenting, and as we have seen today, it might bring some danger because it's an allegation that the fire today was caused by fireworks by a child, but still remains an allegation.
Sio mimi peke yangu, nasema kwa nuclear family yangu. Mimi nikiwa baba na kuna bibi na kuna watoto. Umeanza vibaya sababu hakuna mtu akona kitu hata kidogo.
Now, the church has urged politicians to exercise restraint and as early campaigns ahead of the 2027 general elections begin to take shape. Now, Anglican Church of Kenya Bishop John Omangi warned that premature political mobilization could fuel tensions and animosity, citing the November 27th by-elections where lives were lost and others injured due to political affiliations. The bishop called on leaders to slow down, promote unity, and uphold peaceful coexistence, adding that improved service delivery and leadership standards are key to bridging socio-economic gaps.
We also urge the people in 2026, we know in our political landscape of the land, people will be aligning themselves so that they may capture power in 2027. As they align themselves into those formations, let them be mindful that we have a country to keep so that we may have peace. Peaceful coexistence is what we need. We don't need to lose our country or break our country into hostilities and into segments. We need to be united and to be one country as a nation. So we can regulate our emotions so that the country will be knit together for the glory of God. Let us raise standards even on how we do our politicking for the glory of God. Standards are raised, it brings quality of services to the country, to the people whom we serve, and particularly we as men of God, we are keen to live in obedience to God's word, who has spoken to us in a voice which is clear and still, that it's time for us to raise a standard in everything that we do. Even as we aspire for all other things in our country, in our homes, at the individual level, we need to pray that God's Spirit descend upon us to enable us raise that standard which the Lord wants for His people.
Now, with that story on the call for responsible leadership, we take our first break right here on the second edition of the KUTV Primetime News this year. Of course, we invite your interaction on our social media handles, particularly concerning the stories that we've been able to launch. One concerning the South Sea, the collapse of that building. What are your sentiments on that? Particularly noting that we've seen such instances repeatedly through 2004, 2003. What are your sentiments on that? We'll be coming back after the break with more. Stay tuned.
Pigs are very easy animals to manage. Cleanliness is what is key to them and feeding is what is second to them.
Katika ufugaji wa nguruwe, tofauti kati ya hasara na faida yanayopata mfugaji huanzia kwenye usafi na usimamizi wa kila siku.
The more clean your animals are, the less problems you have. The more feed you give or good quality feeds you give, the less problems you have.
Jumamosi hii kwenye Boresha Kilimo, tunaangazia ufugaji wa nguruwe usio wa kubahatisha. Ungana nami James Baraka, papa hapa KUTV.
Na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
Welcome back to the KUTV Prime Time News. Now, farmers in Laikipia County are ushering the new year in grief and heavy losses after elephants invaded their farms and destroyed crops. The farmers say repeated wildlife invasions have left them living in constant fear, pushing many into poverty and despair. They are now calling on the government to implement lasting solutions to curb the escalating human-wildlife conflict.
Losses running into millions of shillings, sleepless nights, and fear of uncertain tomorrow. This is the reality facing farmers in the Githu ward on the outskirts of Nanyuki town in Laikipia County. Residents say that from December through the start of the new year, they have been forced to stay awake every night, trying to drive away elephants that invade their farms and mercilessly destroy their crops.
Nakumbuka mwaka jana tena shida kama hii tulipata katika sisi wakulima. Ndovu zilikuja mingi zaidi ya 30. Zikatupitia hapa tena, zikabomoa zingenge, zikaingia ndani ya shamba, zikatukulia kila kitu kwa shamba tu, kupata miti, mafakado, nini yote, zilikula makabeji. Ilinivamia kila kitu kama
zinakata. So tunauliza tafadhali hii conflict ya ndovu wanyama na watu, naomba tuangaliliwe.
The elephants, together with other herbivorous wildlife, are reported to have destroyed high-value crops, leaving farmers without food or income. The affected farmers say that although they have submitted compensation claims to the government, the process is lengthy, riddled with bureaucracy, and fails to provide timely relief to victims.
Ya compensation naye nataka kusema hivi. Compensation sio kitu ambayo sio suluhisho la kudumu. Kwa sababu hata wengine wamekuwa wakitisha compensation miaka 10 iliyopita. So compensation watu wa Laikipia wataki compensation. Wanataka wachujue mali yao.
The Kenya Wildlife Service KWS has acknowledged an increase in elephants migration from the Mount Kenya forest through human settlements toward the Olpejeta Conservancy following a traditional wildlife migration corridor. Laikipia KWS Warden Welton says the ongoing construction of an electric fence in the Mount Kenya forest has contributed to changes in elephants' movement patterns.
Na kila mwaka serikali inaweka pesa kwa budget ati ya kwamba ndovu zitachungwa. Kuna wafanyikazi wa serikali ambao wamepewa hiyo kazi. Kuna viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa wanapaswa kushughulikia maslahi ya wananchi. Lakini ikiwa mko kwa ofisi na hakuna kitu mnafanya.
However, residents urge that despite their land lying along a wildlife migration route, they legally own the land and deserve a permanent solution. They also blame the government for poor management of fencing projects, claiming that the electric fence are short-lived despite costing taxpayers millions of shillings. Akida Kasim, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Akida Kasim, for that report. And now, dear viewer, we take you behind the scenes. While news anchors appear calm and composed on your screen, the journey to delivering these bulletins is often filled with unexpected challenges. Today, we give you a rare glimpse into the lighter moments, those unscripted incidents that happen behind the camera. By the way, kudos to our camera team, led by Ian Oyondi, Joan Burudi, and Kibui Kanyeki for their outstanding work. And as you will see, sometimes all you can do is laugh.
Leo tunapokumbuka safari zao, tunatambua mchango wao mkubwa na hatari zinazotokana na tasnia ya uandishi wa habari.
Swali kuu likilenga uchaguzi wa 2027. Wakenya wamegawanyika kuhusu. Wakenya calls to ensure that innovations
urithi wao.
Huku tamasha hili liking'oa huku tamasha hili liking'oa
haikuwa hivyo. It has eased. Pole.
Wakenya na vijana wengi wameendelea kuhimizwa kujitokeza kwa wingi ili kufanya usajili huo.
At Nyayo Stadium, Jamhuri Day celebrations focused on
Kenyans say Jamhuri Day brings pride, but they expect what promises made here to be fulfilled. Tena basi.
Huku Harambee Stars ikiwanyaragaza Zambia 1-0 na kuchukua nyumbani pointi 3. Kenya inangoja kukutana na Madagascar huu Ijumaa. Nikiwa hapa na wenyeji wa Nairobi, Brian Odhiambo na pata
wengi bado hawajazipokea fedha hizo. Leo hii twajiuliza fedha hizo ziko wapi? Glory Kadhure, runinga KU. Macho yangu. Haya, sawa. Wito wa kuhakikisha uigizaji na filamu.
Haya.
Okay, it is the tasky task of ensuring you get the best, and of course it's one that we are grateful to get the opportunity to do for yet another year. We take another second break right here on the second edition of the KUTV Prime Time News this year, and we'll be back with the sports news.
Jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
Goodbye, snail guts. Hello, human skin. I'm going for the tall one. His legs look perfect for a good itch.
I don't know. I think I have a fever and I don't have any energy. Yeah, like there's a war going on inside me.
It has to be the pond. Ponds, rivers, and we will keep snails inside them to show how people get sick.
Yeah, and we'll add pictures of safe water too.
Unsafe, don't jump inside. Stay safe and let adults guide. Snails bring danger, don't you see? Safe water keeps you healthy. Bilharzia free.
All right, we are swiftly in the sporting arena where efforts to curb crime and drug abuse among the youth through sports development are gaining momentum in Kilifi County. Well, young people from Watamu and Shela have received financial support aimed at boosting football activities and offering them a positive path forward. Rajab Juma now reports.
As part of efforts to empower youth socially and economically, football tournaments were organized involving teams from Watamu and Gede with the aim of nurturing talent and strengthening social cohesion. Through sports, young people are encouraged to use their talents as an alternative way to avoid criminal activities and drug abuse.
Anaitwa William Samuel Ruto, His Excellency. Nilimwambia mimi naenda Watamu, naenda Gede na nasikia huko kuna tournament inaendelea. Akaniambia hao wote wasalimie, uwapatie hongera wale waliopanga hii function, uwapatie hongera timu zote ambazo zilishiriki, na uwapatie hongera wananchi wote wa Watamu na zaidi vijana wa eneo hili la Gede, Watamu na Kilifi County.
Sponsors, together with the leaders from the Watamu area, have urged the youths to turn out in large numbers for sports activities, emphasizing that football is an important tool in preparing young people for a better and productive life. Kilifi County Assembly Majority Leader Ibrahim Abdi, while handing over 1 million shillings to the teams, promised that through the County Assembly leadership, support will continue to improve all arts and sports activities in Watamu and Shela areas.
Hii ni milioni 1. Na rais wetu amesema hii pesa ni ya timu zote zilo participate kwenye nini? Kwenye game.
Hili jambo tumelitilia mkazo sana na tunapenda liwe kila wakati na litakuwako kila wakati kwa mshirikiano wa viongozi hawa wetu, ili iwe ni vipaji pia inaonyesha kuinua vipaji kwa vijana wetu, kwa sababu kunakokuwa na mashindano kama haya, kuna vijana wengi huwa wanakuja ambao wanaonekana katika vipaji vyao ili viweze kukuzwa, na pia kuna wale ambao wanaweza kwenda mbele zaidi katika michezo kama hii.
Residents of Watamu say the program is beginning to bear fruits, noting a reduction in cases of indiscipline as more youths participate in sports and music activities.
Our area has been hit badly and hardly na mambo ya madawa kulevya na utovu wa usalama. Lakini tunashukuru kuanzia tuanzishe hizi tournaments na nini mwaka huu. Hii Disemba tumeifunga vizuri, story za mawoza imepungua na nini, vijana wanawajibika katika michezo, wanafanya mazoezi, wanachuana katika michezo mbalimbali, wengine wana muziki wa sanaa.
This step is seen as a new ray of hope for the youths of Watamu and Shela, with the stakeholders hopeful that sports will continue to be a tool for positive change and a better future for the next generation. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
And now we move on to the English Premier League that saw several low-scoring encounters, with Sunderland denting Manchester City's title hopes after a goalless draw at the Stadium of Light. Crystal Palace and Fulham shared a 1-1 draw after a late Tom Kearney equaliser, while Leeds United held Liverpool to a goalless stalemate. Brentford and Tottenham also settled for a draw, leaving fans yearning for goals at the start of this new year. "31 minutes past the top of the hour, and we've come to that moment of wrapping it up for the second edition of the KUTV Prime Time News, the second bulletin this year. Quite great. Of course, a big thank you to the whole team involved in the production of tonight's broadcast, and also to the technical team led by my director Martin Mutegi, Levis Ndomoto, and of course the whole team that was involved in ensuring everything does come as was supposed to be delivered. Thank you, and of course thank you for you too at home for keeping it KUTV. From me, Emanuel Kutosi, and my colleague in the sign language interpretation, Mutava Mwongeli, it's good night until we see each other tomorrow. Stay safe. God bless.
Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Mpenzi mtazamaji wa runinga hii ipendayo ya KUTV, ni mwanahabari wako mpendaye wa siasa Edward Nyamu, na niko hapa kukutakia wewe Christmas njema na mwaka mpya wenye fanaka. Kumbuka unywaji pombe kupita kiasi unadhuru afya. Inshallah.
King of kings will always be, endless as the time to me. I will hail eternally, Selassie I forever, until them crown another king to take the place of the royal hymn. I will forever sing, Selassie